Are you coming to Bonaire to shore dive? Do you plan on diving Candyland? Would you like some tips and tricks to make sure your Bonaire shore diving experience is easier and more enjoyable?
Well, that's what we're talking about in this video.
And we're doing it right now. Hey folks, Liz and Kevin here. We're well north on Bonaire at the dive site Candyland. We are way north of Bopec, and these are phenomenal dive sites up this way. Candyland, our sister site TaylorMade. These are not dived that often, but they're phenomenal, unmarked sites, and you've got to come dive them. They're unlike any other sites on Bonaire, and we're going to tell you all about them in this video, which is another in our series of dive site videos on the sites here on Bonaire. We're going to show you the best place to enter and exit the water, give you the lay of the land outside of the water, some navigational tips, and some other fun information. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you take a giant stride onto our subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll be made aware when we have new content for you to enjoy. But right now, it's all about Candyland, and let me tell you, one of my favorite sites on Bonaire. Don't make it here every trip because it's somewhat of a chore to get here. It's well north of Bopec. It is very far off the beaten path, and because of that, we actually have a video telling you how to find Candyland, so we'll link that right up here. So make sure you watch that first so you know how to make it here to Candyland, as well as their sister site TaylorMade. But let's see, why do you want to dive Candyland? If you like the dive site Carpata, you're going to love Candyland and TaylorMade for that matter. I once heard this described as Carpata on steroids, and let me tell you, that is it to a T. It really is different. The large, pillarous, mountainous star coral, boulder coral formations, everything about this site is just big. It's grand. So if you like structure, if you like to see tall pillared corals, if you like the hard coral, intermixed with some very nice soft coral. Let me tell you, we dove here again this year. It's been a few years since we've been to Candyland. The shallows are a ton better than they used to be. There's a lot of soft coral now throughout the reef system, but it's such a beautiful dive. You really must come dive it. Lots of marine life, moray eels. Seen a nurse shark here a couple of times, so you may see sharks on this dive. All your usual suspects of fish, blue chromies, parrotfish. Hopefully you'll see some midnight parrots up here, some of the ones you typically don't see on the southern dive sites. Grunt, snapper, you name the fish that you like to see on Bonaire, you're going to find it here. But it's all about the atmosphere. It's so unlike any other dive site. You've got to come dive it. Liz, what do you like about Candyland?
I really love the hard coral formations. That's what I like about the north a lot. But Candyland in particular has all of these cool looking mushroom type corals. They just look like you're in another world. The marine life here was great. As Kevin mentioned, we've seen a couple morays swimming out in the open ocean. We've seen a bunch of fish, a whole bunch of kinds of purple fish. I don't really know what they're called, but they're very pretty and electric colored. And so we really like the site. The coral formations really are the highlight of it. And there's a lot of good marine life too.
Exactly right. So make sure you come up to Candyland. The entry is somewhat tricky. It's very specific on where you need to enter at Candyland. Navigation is very important, so make sure you have your compass. Make sure you have your walking stick. We talk about a lot of these things in another video I'll link up here. 10 things to make your Bonaire shore diving experience easier and more enjoyable. I apologize for the commercial, but there are some things you can use here on this dive site in particular, like other sites on Bonaire, that really will make it easier. Liz is going to demonstrate this entry. Once again, it's very specific. So let's take a look at everything on the land side of Candyland, then we'll demonstrate the entry and exit. Okay folks, let's take a look at the lay of the land here at Candyland. This is an unmarked site that is now unofficially marked with yellow signs. The local folks have put those out for us, so it makes finding the entry super easy. You can see it's across the road from where we park. There's Liz getting ready. But just follow the road or the path over to the left of the sign, and you will find a nice, well-worn down path for you to use to take you to the entry at the water. So let's walk down the path. So just come on down, and it's very important to enter right here at where it's marked, because you're going to see how we need to enter the water. And when you start to look out of the water, you're going to see all the different coral heads, and you can see this nice path going out to the deeper water, and you're going to need to follow that. So you're going to come in and enter the water, and Liz will demonstrate this for you in just a second. But you see this exposed brain coral head here. You're going to go just to the right of that. There's an actual step down in between the next two rocks you can see. Then you follow the sandy, actually rocky path out to go between these next two coral heads. Then you go a little bit further and you hang a left to head out to the last two coral heads that hopefully you can see there in the distance. There's a rock you'll need to step up that's in between those two coral heads, but that is the entry out into the deeper water. Put your fins on and swim out. Highly recommend you use those walking sticks, but head on out, and make sure though, as you're swimming out on the surface to the deep or dark blue, let me turn around, keep that yellow rock on your compass. Take a compass heading and swim it the reverse heading out there to the deep blue. Head down and make sure you find a good navigational marker to come straight back here, because you're going to need to re-enter to exit this channel through the rocks and the coral. If you look left, if you look right, you can see that's not where you want to be. You can't exit there. You need to come straight back through this path that you entered. So let's go find Liz, and we'll demonstrate how to enter here at Candyland. All right, here comes Liz. She's going to show us how to enter here at Candyland. And please be nice to her in the comments. This is the second time doing this. I forgot to press record the first time. But she's entering here, and she's going to head straight for that brain coral that's exposed. Right in between the brain coral and the rocks to the left. There's a step down there you'll see in just a second. Right there. Not too bad. Then there's a nice clear path now. Hanging a left slightly to head out to the last exposed coral heads you can see there. And once she passes those, big wave, you're good to go to put fins on. She's going to turn around and come on back the same way she got in. Once again, it's super important to come back to this exact same spot so you can exit the water. That's how you do it, just like that. Well, folks, that's just about going to do it for us here at Candyland. We hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate that. But for now, that's it for Candyland. We're going to gear up, get in, and we'll see you at the next dive site.